Yes, Mr. Moss.
Thank you, sir. Could we have on the screen, please, RUAM 505? Thank you. And could we go to the bottom of page 2, please? To the very bottom, please. Could we just go to the whole of page 2, please? Thank you. And I'd just like the... that's sufficient on screen. Mr. Martinez, can you see at the bottom of the screen, and I'll read it in English so it can be translated for you, that Gruppo Marpasi on the 8th of February 2022 were emailing Mr. Henderson. Do you see that there?
Sí, en el 2022
Yes, in
estamos
2000,
con el correo de Grupo Marpasi.
we tried with the email of
Ahí fue el 8 de febrero cuando
that was when
se le dijo lo de
told
nos hizo un cuestionario.
they gave us a questionnaire and we answered
Web, de los artículos
about our website and products.
Right, let's look at what was actually said. If you go over the page, it's the same email. And I wonder if our interpreter could please translate this passage from the third paragraph. And I'm going to ask that an arrow be pointed next to it. So it's the bottom of the third paragraph. These packages could be sent already packed and labelled so that you only have to include the label of the transport agency, and from your warehouse they would be sent to the final clients. So on this email, it was very clear that you were saying nothing about warnings about bladed items or warnings about having to be over 18.
Efectivamente, en este email
Actively
no
in
pone
this
nada de eso. Este es el primer
email.
email
This is the first email
contacto que
of
tuvimos con
contact
SJG.
that I had with S.J. Henderson.
Después hubo
And
más
after,
conversaciones. Esto era antes de hacer el contrato.
this was before beginning the contract.
Did you not understand what the law required of you at this stage?
Es, como he comentado, es el primer contacto que no sabemos si íbamos a trabajar o no con él.
That we were going to work with him on.
Cuál era lo
We
que queríamos,
explained,
cuál era
gave an overview on what we did, what was our website, what we were trying to do,
los
sending
para
packets
que se hiciesen y entonces
so that they can be distributed.
las sugerencias de él. Luego,
And we counted on his suggestions, and
conversaciones
we had conversations
videoconferencia
via video conference
donde se
where
aclararon todos los
things
puntos,
were cleared, points were cleared
las cuestiones.
over the matters.
And on page 1, please, the bottom email, the bottom third of the page, please. So on the 17th of February, what was said about 3 paragraphs in the bottom regarding the shipments, could that just be highlighted, please? regarding the shipments, we would like all of them to be sent with a traceable tracking number in order the final clients can track the process. So certainly in this email, you made absolutely no mention of the need for the delivery to be age verified, did you?
Dad,
Ahí tampoco lo menciona. Ahí
I didn't mention that.
se ha preguntado antes lo de los
And
paquetes. Ahí
what was
preguntamos
asked about the
cómo
packet
se haría
area.
el seguimiento de los envíos.
We asked what would the tracking be
No se
like
habla.
over the order.
Evidentemente son dos líneas, no es una conversación como la que tuvimos.
It wasn't, these are just two lines, but it wasn't like the conversation we had afterwards.
Who is Alberto?
Alberto trabajaba
Alberto worked
en Grupo Marpasi.
in Grupo Marpasi.
Is he a relation of yours?
Sí,
Yes.
What relation?
hijo.
Son.
And are you really telling this inquiry that in a later video conference you told Henderson's about what needed to be on the labels and that you told Henderson that it needed to be age-verified delivery? Is that what you're claiming?
Sí, en una conversación, en una
Yes, in a
videoconferencia,
video conference.
de
It was
las
spoken
necesidades que
over the
había
necessity
y demás
that
cosas.
were required and other
No
things.
recuerdo ahora mismo todo, pero
I don't remember
sí
anything,
que se habló.
but I know that, yes, it was spoken about.
Mr. Henderson's statement to this inquiry suggests that you chose the delivery carrier Every for virtually all of your orders. Is that right, that you could have a choice between different delivery companies?
En principio,
At first,
nosotros
we
no teníamos
didn't
la APP
have
de
the
cómo se hacían
PPP
los procesos de los envíos.
of how the
En principio no
processes
estaba.
were
Los
done.
envíos se hicieron sin esa APP.
We're not sure if
Ellos
we
implementaron que
did it
esa
holiday
estuvimos hablando de eso
IPP.
y se hacía por ahí.
And
Se iban
then
a poner las diferentes empresas y se podían elegir las empresas.
and then afterwards we could choose the different companies.
Did Henderson's give you any information about what items were restricted by Every, so what Every didn't allow to be sent with them? Did Henderson's tell you about that?
No.
No,
Yo entendía que las
I understood
empresas
that the companies
podíamos seleccionar
that
cumplían con
we
los
could choose
requisitos de los que habíamos
complied
hablado.
with the requirements that were spoken about, but I
Los
didn't know
requisitos eran los de Whitley,
that we
Every,
still and every
las otras
numerous
compañías con las que se han
companies
enviado, porque se han enviado
that were
ahí,
sending
también pasa que ahora no lo puedo, pero lo vi el otro día, porque
I couldn't remember, but I saw the other day
recibimos
we received
la respuesta de
the response from Henderson.
Nos ha baneado de la APP.
It removed us from the APP.
Entonces,
So
sí que vi que se habían enviado con otras
Can you ask
empresas.
Mr. Martinez not to go into, I want him to stop. I'm going to ask about when things were cancelled later on. Mr. Martinez, did you take steps yourself to familiarise yourself with any restrictions on what every allowed to be delivered by their service.
No sabíamos las condiciones de...
We didn't know the conditions.
If we look next, please, at HKAW 4034, Mr. Martinez, this is the contract with Henderson's that you very helpfully provided to the inquiry. And we thank you for it. Could we look at the bottom of page 3, please? So do we see that under the heading 3, there's a title, Client Obligations, and you were the client, weren't you?
Sí.
Yes.
And if we go over the page to the top of page 4, please, do we see that you, the client, were undertaking that you would comply with all laws and regulations affecting manufacture, sale, packaging, and labelling of its goods? Do you see that there, first of all, Mr. Martinez, now it's been translated for you, what that meant?
El cliente
The client,
cumplirá la legislación, entiendo.
the client must comply with the legislation, I understand. The sale, packaging, ticketing, label. Yes.
So in your own contract, it wasn't specifying that Henderson's would have a duty to advise you on English law. You were undertaking to comply with English law about sale, packaging, and labelling, weren't you?
Sí.
Yes.
I want to turn to my next topic, which is the scale of the problem. And can we have on screen, please, Mr. Martinez, your first statement, your second statement, HKAW 4033. And if we can look, please, at page 2. And can we have the bottom quarter of the page highlighted, please, or expanded? Mr. Martinez, in a box alongside B and C, could it just be an arrow, please? A total of 2,811 packages were sent by you through Henderson's. That was additional information which you provided and which the legal team to the inquiry have overlaid onto your statement. So, first of all, can you just confirm that your records show that you sent 2,811 packages through Henderson's?
Eso es lo que salía en el programa suyo
What was coming up through the APP program.
Uno a uno, pero eran los que coincidían.
We haven't seen this one-to-one, but this is what coincided. These objects were blazed.
Henderson,
That was sent through Henderson. And they had to register them if they were blazed.
Había un porcentaje que podían ser,
And
no sé, uno,
There was a percentage that could be,
Just ask Mr. Martinez to pause. Please translate this directly. Mr. Martinez, please listen to the question that is being asked and answer it. If you have a further explanation, we will come to it. Did your company send a total of 2,811 packages through Henderson's? I think you can answer that yes or no.
yo creo que esto sí o no. Sí. Yes.
Thank you. I'm learning Spanish as we go. Now, of those 2,811, what percentage, roughly, would have been bladed items, so knives, machetes, any kind of knife?
pues el 99,9%.
About 99.9%.
And as you sit there now, Mr. Martinez, trying to help this inquiry, does that now worry you that your company has ended up shipping over 2,500 bladed items to UK customers, all of which should have been age verified, and none of which were age verified?
Sí me preocupa.
Yes, it worries me.
Me siento,
I feel,
pues, no sé,
I don't know,
engañado o
taken in
con impotencia.
and
No sé cómo
impotent,
explicarlo. Porque yo pensaba que
because I thought
se
that,
estaban haciendo
that they
cosas bien.
were doing the things correctly.
But I have already put to you, suggested to you, that these were not duties, Mr. Martinez, that you could delegate. It was your responsibility to put in place age verification delivery. It was your responsibility to ensure that it was labelled as a knife or a sharp object. And it was your responsibility, your company's responsibility, to mark that it was only for delivery to an age 18 or over. So you say you feel taken in, but it was a breach of your responsibility. Do you now accept that?
Tengo que aceptarlo.
I have to accept
Si
it.
si,
If,
claro que tengo que aceptarlo.
sure, I have to accept.
Que yo no hice las
I
cosas bien.
have to accept that I didn't do the things correctly because I trusted that they were being done well.
Lo que hablamos,
Like I said,
lo que pone en el contrato
like
es
what they said in the
lo que se
contract
habla es
and what they talk about is
pensaba que las
another.
cosas se estaban haciendo bien porque
We thought that everything was being done well.
hacer las cosas bien o hacerlas mal
But to do them well or
no
bad,
tiene ninguna ventaja.
there's no
Todo lo contrario. Son desventajas. Hacer las cosas mal lo único que
doing things badly.
ocasiona pues
It only creates
que las
problems.
cosas habían quedado
And I thought the things were clear
con Stephen y que
with
se estaban haciendo
Stephen,
yo
that they were being carried out well.
If we look at, can we have it on screen, HKAW 4032, your first statement, page 10, paragraph 43. Let me deal with it now. You said in this statement, as for the possibility of having handled the situation differently, honestly, Despite the enormous helplessness and emotion I feel as a father and a citizen in the face of the murder of these 3 young people, and going further, if this same case has involved adults, I don't think we could have done our job more efficiently at the time. Do you want to change that answer in the light of the issues that I have explored with you?
Está claro
It's
que,
clear
a la vista de lo que estamos viendo
on
en
the
la
side of what
investigación,
we are seeing in this investigation,
deberíamos de haber
we,
hecho el trabajo más
we
eficiente
should have done things
y
differently,
se podría haber hecho más eficiente.
and it could have been done more effectively.
Because, sadly, I have to suggest to you that you don't know, and the inquiry cannot know, how many of those more than 2,500 knives may have ended up in the hands of children.
Es preocupante, sí.
Yes, it's alarming, yes.
And if it were to be suggested that in fact that shows that you felt woefully short of your duties, what would you say?
Que tiene razón
That you are correct,
el abogado.
that you have reason.
Mr. Martinez, thank you for that answer. Can we turn now to the specific order by AR? The emails from him, could we just look at them, please? The first one is HKAW 502. And if we just expand the main text on the right-hand side in the middle. So a couple of things. Do we note that in terms of who this is coming from, it's coming from AR. Do you see that there? Could an arrow be pointed? Thank you, Sarah. So it's coming from AR, yes? So I'm just asking you to confirm that the name that was given for who's making these queries is just the initials AR.
Sí.
Yes.
Thank you. And in the first email, what AR was saying was, in order to verify my age for age-restricted items, do you ask for ID online, or does the courier ask for it in person? So you agree that your company received an email to that effect?
Sí.
Yes.
And then HKA 503 on the 28th of September 2023. HKAW 503, please, Sarah. Again, could we have the main email on the right-hand side just expanded? So I'm just going to read this out so that it's on the record and it will be translated for you. Looks like this was from your son, yes?
Sí.
Yes.
Hello, we always request online verification unless it can be verified by the electoral roll and the address matches. Although sometimes delivery verification is also requested. Just pausing there. Delivery age verification should always have been requested, shouldn't it?
Sí.
Yes.
Reading on, it is also possible to verify your identity if you send us a proof to this email. In the case of online verification, it is only necessary to do it once, and your account will be verified. Despite the exceptions contemplated by law, we always establish the minimum purchase period at 18 years or over. We hope to have helped you with your query. We remain at your disposal for any other question. So that was the message being sent on the 28th of September. Do you agree?
¿Me lo puedes traducir otra vez que no te he oído? Es que estabais hablando los dos y no te oía.
Could you translate it one more time because I haven't heard it as you were both speaking at the same time?
Ahora no te...
Hello, we always request online verification unless it can be verified by the electoral roll and the address matches. Although sometimes delivery verification is also requested, it is also possible to verify your identity if you send us a proof to this email. In the case of online verification, it is only necessary to do it once and your account will be verified. Despite the exceptions contemplated by law, we always establish the minimum purchase period at 18 years or over. We hope to have helped you with your query. We remain at your disposal for any other question.
And what was the question?
I just wanted you to confirm, it's obvious really, but that's the email that your son sent on the 28th of September.
Septiembre.
Sí, ese correo es el que
Yes,
nosotros
that was
mandamos
the email that we sent.
Thank you. And then HKAW 504, please. Again, if that could just be expanded. AR then sent a short further query. Does the person who receives the delivery have to be the same person on the ID or not? So that was the 1st of October. If we go to the response to that, it's HKAW 505, 2nd of October. And Mr. Martinez, I'm going to read this slowly so that hopefully I only have to read it once. So, yes, the package is marked with the name of the person who must receive the package. And in this type of shipments, it is specified that the named person must be the one who receives the merchandise. Otherwise, the delivery person would not be doing the job well, since this aspect is what was agreed upon with the transport company. It would be possible to schedule a delivery at a collection point if you are not going to be at home. This could be done once the tracking number is received from the transport company's website. At the time this email was sent, do you accept that your company doesn't seem to have understood how your packages were actually being delivered?
Nosotros entendíamos que eso se estaba haciendo así,
That this was
por lo que habíamos hablado.
like what we'd spoken about.
But when Alberto said that it must be the person who was named on the order who receives the delivery, that was just not accurate, was it?
No, no estaba preciso.
No, it wasn't
Eso no
that.
estaba preciso. Eso
That was
sí,
not.
sí.
And when Alberto said it would be possible to schedule a delivery at a collection point, as we've seen, if the collection point was a locker type collection point, that would be unlawful. Yet Alberto was saying it was possible to schedule a delivery at a collection point.
Nunca hemos enviado una entrega a
Never
un punto
sent a delivery to a
a
collection
un punto
point.
de caja.
To a cabinet.
Hoy se están enviando entregas a puntos
They are sent home.
access points, que se llaman. Pero esos puntos
Access point.
necesitan, no son una caja, es una persona
But
en
these
una
points
tienda
are not a box,
que
it's a
identifica
person
a
in
quién
a
lo
shop
coge.
that identifies.
Nunca se han enviado a un punto de caja.
They are never sent to a collection point box.
Puntos de recolección pueden ser,
These collection points
tipo,
could be
como he
type,
preguntado antes,
like you've asked before.
wow,
So you would understand that to be a shop that would then do the age verification, not a locker collection point. Is that what you're saying?
Exactamente, entiendo de que podría
understand.
ser, no digo que se hiciese, porque no debería, en ese momento que
In that moment, I understand what it shouldn't
ese
be.
correo, habla
In that
de
moment
un
it sent
punto
the email, he spoke about
punto
points,
que podía ser como una
that
tienda.
it could be like
Realmente
a shop,
nunca se ha enviado a
but
través de Henderson
it
a un
never
punto de tienda.
has been
Siempre
sent
entendíamos que se enviaba
by Henderson to a
recogida
collection point.
a la puerta.
We always send
correo
the deliveries to the door.
And if it was a shop collection point, how would you know that the shop was doing age verification?
En los puntos de
In
recolección
points
de
of
una
collection
tienda,
in a shop,
cuando, según con qué empresa de transporte
according
trabajas,
to whichever
hay tiendas
transport company
y en la
it is,
empresa de transporte
there are
lleva la
shops
verificación de edad.
that do age
Si tú tienes
verification.
contratada la
If
verificación de
you
edad, en ese punto tienen
we
que
take out,
recogerlo.
if they carry out age
Si no, no lo
verification at
podemos
that point, they have to
Nosotros aquí en España
collect it.
tenemos un punto, somos nosotros punto.
Here in Spain, we are a collection point,
Y ese punto de
and
entrega que
that point
tenemos aquí,
collection here,
cuando viene un cliente
when a client
para
comes
recoger cualquier cosa, un cuchillo, cualquier cosa,
to pick up
tiene que
anything, a
identificarse.
knife,
Si
they
no
have
se
to identify
identifican con el
themselves.
carnet de
If
identidad,
they don't
y
identify
el carnet de
themselves with
identidad,
an ID
como
card,
allí puede ser
we,
el carnet de conducir,
it could
si no
be
se
a
identifican con el
driver's
carnet de
license,
identidad, no se entrega.
and without that
Entonces,
ID,
surge la
we don't
aplicación
give it to them.
de esa.
Had you given Henderson's a clear instruction that for any shop collection point, the shop would have to offer an age verification service? Had you made that clear to Henderson's?
No, con Henderson
No,
no
with
se
Henderson,
habló de ninguna
we
recogida en
we
tienda.
didn't
Nunca.
talk about
Se
any
habló del
collection point
etiquetado
ever,
y de todo eso, pero nunca
but we never
los puntos de recogida.
mentioned
Entendemos que
collection
nunca se
points.
entregaron en puntos de
We
recogida, ni
understand
con
that they were
nosotros
never
ni con
delivered
Henderson.
to any collection points.
So why did Alberto tell AR that it would also be possible to arrange delivery to a collection point?
Pues Alberto se equivocó.
Because Alberto made a mistake.
Que no se puede entregar.
Because it was not, we can't deliver to a collection point.
Thank you. Now, just give me one moment. HKAW 506, please, just to complete the emails. Again, right-hand side, please, Sarah. Thank you. So on the 3rd of October, AR emailed what types of collection points are available. And as I've understood your evidence and the disclosure, that email was never responded to by your company. Do you agree?
Sí.
Yes.
So the mistake that had been made wasn't corrected?
No, se ve que no fue
No, it
corregido.
looks like it wasn't.
Si se dijo que se entregaba en un punto de
If it said it was
entregarse, no se le
delivered
contestó y se le dijo de que no.
a collection point, wasn't answered to say no.
No, and to be fair to you, it wasn't delivered to a collection point. So AR then goes on to place an order, which he did on the 14th of October. Could we have on the screen, please, HKAW 508? That is an exhibit to your own statement where you've helpfully provided the image of the type of knife that was being sold, the type of machete that was being sold. It was described as a Kukri machete Congo 488 JKR. Kukri machete, what do you understand that to be?
Eso es un machete.
It's a
Los
machete.
machetes hay varios tipos. El kukri
What's
es
There's
a
different
Kukri?
types. There's
I'm sorry.
This is the most well known.
el kukri.
The Kukri
The Kukri.
is,
Hombre que tienen ese
is
tipo de machetes.
known for these types of machetes.
But did you understand that the reason why the kukri machete style is best known is that it is the weapon, the official weapon of the Gurkhas.
Desconocía que era el arma oficial de los
I did not know that it was the Gurkha weapon,
según la zona
simply that the machete from the zone that they originate
para el tema
are the ones that are utilized for the females.
es el bosque, cortar ramas,
Forest, cutting branches.
We need to have on the screen, please, HKAW 4032 at page 3. Paragraph 12, please. The description on your website for this machete said, like any good kukri machete, the Congo kukri have 3 parts to their blade. And then these words, Mr. Martinez, a pointed tip for stabbing. Stabbing what?
Apuñalar no es apuñalar, es pinchar. Una punta que
It's
termina
not stabbing, it's to pinch.
puede ser,
It may be a problem with the term.
así lo entiendo yo. La punta
That's how I
es apuñalar,
understand it.
la punta es
The point is to pinch,
cualquier cuchillo tiene punta,
but any knife has a point.
tiene una punta
It doesn't have
que no tenga otro.
Mr. Martinez, at least in the English, the words are very clear. A pointed tip for stabbing. What are people going to stab with a machete exactly?
Con un machete,
With a machete,
machete como un cuchillo,
like a knife
punta
that has a
para
point,
pinchar, o sea,
it
para
can
pinchar, o
pinch,
sea, para apuñalar.
not for
Pero no
stabbing.
para apuñalar, es para pinchar.
It's not for stabbing, it's
Eso
to.
entiendo yo, pero bueno.
That's what I understand. But fine.
La transcripción.
Mr. Martinez, I'm going to ask the same question for a third time. And if you can't provide an answer, it will be for the chair to decide what to make of it. On your website, can we have it back on the screen, please? Apparently giving the good virtues of this machete, you had product description that said a pointed tip for stabbing. For the third time, what would a person be stabbing with a machete?
Yo entiendo,
I don't
vuelvo a
understand.
decir que la punta
I'm going to say
era apuñalar.
that
No lo sé concretamente porque, como sabes, no sé inglés.
I don't know English,
Pero
you know,
entiendo que es para
but I understand
pinchar.
that it's
Tú estás
to
haciendo una labor,
pinch.
esos machetes que se
It's a
utilizan
machete that's
en
used
sitios,
Right. Pinch what?
una fruta
Para
para recolectar.
to pinch a
Tú
fruit,
utilizas
to
el machete
collect,
para recolectar
to
el
gather,
coco, picar
a
el coco,
coconut,
para pinchar el coco.
and it's
Pero
to pinch the
no para
coconut,
apuñalarlo. O sea,
not to stab it.
apuñalado no se refiere
It doesn't refer to
a una cosa que no sea una persona.
anything that is a person.
Do you think there's much need for pinching fruit and stabbing coconuts in Lancashire? With a machete?
Ninguna. En
none
Lancaster, como aquí en
in
España,
Lancaster,
ninguno.
like here
Lo
in
que pasa es
Spain
que esos
or
cuchillos
anything.
están diseñados
What happens is that
para
knives are
la
designed
recolección, para el
for the
uso
collection
en sitios
and to use
calurosos, donde hay
in
vegetación.
outdoors
Yo en
sites
Lancaster
where there's
no
vegetation.
sé
No,
qué siembran allí,
Lancaster, I don't know what it's like
pero
there.
coco seguro que no.
Cocos and
Did you
strawberries.
give any thought to what somebody might do with a Gurkha knife that's got a good pointed tip for stabbing? Did you care what the customers did with it?
No es que me importase o no me importase, pero son cuchillos vender, o sea, son cuchillos que suelen vender
Was
todo en
important
el
to me.
Reino Unido, en todos los sitios.
Pause,
Y lo que entiende,
pausa,
o lo que yo entiendo cuando vendes
but
la cuchillería se utiliza para el uso.
sorry, Your Honour, could I ask him to continue from again or repeat the question because it was a very long response?
Thank you. So please translate what I'm going to say. Mr. Martinez, please speak slowly to help the interpreter. And if it's a long answer, please pause halfway through your answer. But I will ask the question again. Did you give any thought to what somebody might do with a Gurkha-style knife that had a good pointed tip for stabbing? Did you care what the customers did with it?
Yo entendía que el
I
cliente
understood
no
that the
compraba un
client
cuchillo para
that didn't buy
Entendía
the
que el
customers
cliente
to
compra el
stab.
cuchillo
I thought that the client bought the knife to use
para el que está diseñado.
for what it's
Simplemente
designed for
porque le gusta y algunos
and
lo
for what they like,
tienen como si fuese
and some of them
de decoración.
like
Me
decorate,
pasa también, no con los cuchillos cookie a lo mejor, pero
but
pasa
not with
con
the
otro tipo,
cookery.
con una... Hay gente que compra
The
cuchillería
people
y
that buy
simplemente la tiene
knives
de
and
decoración.
they just have them for
Hay
collection.
otra gente que la utiliza
Other people use
para
it
el uso
for
para el que está
for the use
hecho.
that it's
Y hay otros que
made for,
utilizan
and they use it
los artículos de
the
cuchillería o los
objects,
cuchillos,
knives,
y es un
blades,
cuchillo que teóricamente es
and
para cazar
knives for
y
hunting
lo usa para
and
preparar la comida.
to prepare their food.
Prepare their food. Preparing food with a machete like this. Is that a serious answer?
No estoy
Esto es
hablando
serio.
del machete, estoy hablando
I'm
de un
not
cuchillo
talking
hecho,
about the
un
machete.
cuchillo de caza.
I'm
Cuchillo de caza,
talking about a domestic
gente,
knife.
No,
There's people.
I'm asking you about the machete. And I'll try once more. What was the machete really going to be used for by a customer in Lancashire?
Yo desconozco el cliente qué uso le va a dar a
What
un
use they
artículo
will
que
give
compra.
to
Se
the product
supone
they
que lo
buy.
compra
Supposedly
para
they buy
cualquier cuestión
for
relacionada
anything
con la
related
supervivencia.
to survival.
No sé si el
I don't
cliente es
know
un
if the
cliente
client is a
porque no le
client
hace una entrevista al cliente.
because I don't give them an interview.
Yo no sé
I
si el
don't know
cliente
if the
le gusta la
customer
supervivencia
likes
y porque
survival
utilizan el machete
and if
para
it's
irse al
going to
monte,
use
cortar
machete
ramas,
to
cortar
cut branches
vegetación.
or
Eso es lo que yo
vegetation.
entiendo para lo que lo va a utilizar.
That's what I
En
thought that it
cualquier
was used
programa
for.
de supervivencia que
But
echan en la televisión,
survival, there's a
imagino que en el
program
Reino
of
Unido
survival
también,
on TV.
mucha gente hace
Many
supervivencia
people
con machete
does survival with
y los
machete
utilizan
and use
para lo
them
que los utilizan,
and use
para
them
practicar la supervivencia.
to
Es para
practice
lo que yo creo
survival. That's
que
what
se
I
utilizan los
think.
machetes
That
hoy en
machetes
día, aparte
today are part
de
of
el uso
a
que
use
tienen
that
por
has
diseño, que es un uso
that is
de campo,
designed for that
una
use.
herramienta de
It's a
trabajo
tool of
para el
work
campo,
for the
moverse
countryside
contra la vegetación.
and to work with vegetation.
Y entiendo que lo va a
And I
utilizar
understand that they will use it for that,
para otra cosa.
not that they will use it for anything else.
You don't need a 31 centimetre curved machete blade even to practice survival in the real world, do you?
Yo no practico la supervivencia,
I
con lo
don't
cual
practice survival,
no lo necesito.
so
Pero hay
that's why I
gente
don't need it.
practica
But
la
there's people that
supervivencia
just practice survival,
y se ven todos los días
and they're seen every day on
supervivencia,
programs, survival
trail guides,
programs,
que utilizan machetes
where they use
sin ningún
machetes
problema.
without any
Y
problems,
lo utilizan para la
and
supervivencia.
they use it for survival.
Now, AR uploaded a driver's license for age verification, HKAW 507, please, Sarah. And to be fair to you and your company, the information that the inquiry has received is that this appears to be a genuine driving license, but as you can see, it was for a man in his 60s living in Uxbridge in northwest London. Do you see that there?
Aquí solo veo la fecha de nacimiento, no veo otra cosa.
Here I can only
La
see the
validez
date of
del
birth. I
documento.
cannot see anything
Además
else.
estaba
No, but you can see the bits that matter, Mr. Martinez. You've seen this document without the redactions. You can see the date of birth, so he was in his 60s, wasn't he? Age 62.
del 61.
Yes?
Sí, por ahí, 60, 60 y algún año, 62, 61.
Yes, 60, 61, 62, yes.
And you can see we've blacked out the address so that we don't give this man's home address away, but it was in Uxbridge, just on the outskirts of northwest London.
Sí, yo no conozco
Yes, I don't
la
know
dirección exacta, si está en las afueras
the exact
de
address.
Londres o no.
No, you don't need to know the exact address for these questions. The delivery address, as you know, was in Banks in Lancashire, just outside Southport. Did you understand that that was more than 200 miles away?
Ahora que me lo estás diciendo, sí.
Now
pero
that you
no
say
lo
it,
sabía.
yes, but I didn't know this distance I didn't know the distance from one place to another.
Did you look at it at the time? Did you think, well, this driving license is for this place with a Uxbridge or a London postcode, and the delivery address is somewhere completely different? Were you curious? Did you look at it?
No,
No,
no lo miré.
I didn't look at it.
And the name, again, we've blanked out one of the names, but it wasn't the initials AR, was it?
No.
No,
And the email address that it was coming from was a.megalania, MEGALANIA. And that doesn't appear at all similar to the name on the identification, does it?
Megalania no se corresponde ni al nombre de...
no, Megalania doesn't correspond to the name.
Ni al
And
nombre
when you add in that this supposedly 62-year-old man living in Uxbridge was asking a series of detailed questions about what the age verification process was. Do I need to do it when I buy it or only when it's delivered? does the person who orders it have to be the same person who's received it? What sort of collection boxes can I use? And all of the details about the identification and the addresses that I've gone through, shouldn't this have raised suspicion if you were taking care with the people to whom you were selling machetes?
No da sospecha porque
It doesn't raise suspicion because
una persona
when a person,
mayor
an
pregunta,
older person asks,
y suelen preguntar más
and frequently they're
mayores que los jóvenes,
more than young
no están
people
familiarizados
because they're not familiarized with the
Entonces,
choices. So
son preguntas muy habituales.
they are very
Preguntan más
common questions.
la gente mayor,
Older
la
people
gente joven.
ask more than young people because they don't know how to buy
Porque a
or
lo
how to
mejor
do these
el
things.
problema para él no es la
Because
identificación,
the problem for him is not the ID,
cómo tiene que
but,
procesar,
or how to process the order.
que la tecnología la lleva
There are
mal.
people that the technology is
Hombre de 60 años,
difficult
hay
for
gente
this
más joven, de
person
70
that's
que pasa
62, but
igual,
there are even younger people that have the same problem
porque esas son
because
preguntas
these are
muy
questions,
cotidianas, o sea,
very common
¿cómo hago
questions.
esto? ¿Cómo
How do I do this?
gente que incluso
And people also
llama por teléfono?
will call by
En
phone.
España mucha gente
Well,
llama por
here in
teléfono
Spain, many
porque
people call
no
by
saben
phone
comprar
to
cosas.
say that they don't know how to purchase online.
All right, but I don't want to be ageist about this, but if the machete is being used for survival, is the 62-year-old man your typical target client group for the purchase of a machete? To practice their survival skills? Does that not raise an eyebrow?
No, porque
No, because
vuelvo a comentar,
I will repeat,
muchos de las
many
personas
of the
que
people
practican
that
supervivencia
practice
y
survival,
se ven en los
and you can see them on the
documentales,
TV shows,
personas
they are
están
people
rondando los 60 años.
that are
Entre
over
60 años,
60
yo creo que algunos
years,
hasta
70
jubilados.
years.
O sea,
All right,
no,
but if you took these factors together,
Pero si
200 miles difference between the identification address and the delivery address, initials that don't match the identification, an email that doesn't match the identification, and a lot of detailed questions being asked by a supposedly 60-year-old man about how he will prove how old he is. Looking at it now, Mr. Martinez, being honest and realistic, would you accept that those factors taken together should have raised suspicion?
yo
I
acepto
accept
parte
for part
que me planteé que puedo
of
plantear
the
una
jury
sospecha.
that
Para mí,
suggests the
en su momento,
suspicion.
no
For me, in the
planteé ninguna
moment,
sospecha.
I didn't
Porque
raise the suspicion
no veo
because I can't
una
see
cosa determinante que me
a
plantee una
determined
sospecha.
thing that has
Ahora, sabiendo
suspicion.
de dónde viene,
But now,
sabiendo lo que ha
seeing
pasado,
and knowing
sabiendo
what's happened
lo que sabemos,
and what we know,
evidentemente
evidently,
podemos ver
we can see
casi todo
that nearly
se
all
puede
can be
mejorar, que casi
improved
todo
if
debe de ser
all
susceptible
be
de sospechar.
susceptible to be
Pero
suspected.
visto desde hoy,
But
visto
the
desde el
story
2023,
I've
ninguna
since
sospecha.
2002-3, I haven't
Porque
seen
es que es
suspicion because
ninguna de las cosas
none of the things
puestas son
so,
determinantes para que te hagan
are
sospechar.
determined
Los
to
correos
be
electrónicos,
have a suspicion
a
over.
nosotros nos llegan
We
muchos,
receive
no tienen nada que ver
many
con los nombres. Un correo electrónico, mañana te hacen un correo
for
electrónico
emails,
en Gmail y puedes poner lo
and
que quieras que no esté ocupado.
you can
Y la
put
gente
anything on
utiliza sus
email,
correos electrónicos. motes, yo qué sé, llámalo como quieras, pero
A
un montón de
motif,
cosas
you can
que no
call them what you
pueden
will.
decir
They can
nada.
say a lot of
Lo
things.
único que tenemos
And the only
para
thing we
comprobar
have
la
to
veracidad,
prove the
o tenemos para
verification
comprobar la veracidad, es
is,
la documentación oficial.
is the official documentation.
Que,
Because,
o sea,
sure,
es que si
it's
cada uno
each
tuviese
one of
que
us
registrarse un
had
correo
to
electrónico
register
con
the
su identidad,
email with their
pues
identity.
no habría ese problema.
Yeah,
Pero es que
we
los
wouldn't
correos
have that
electrónicos
problem.
se pueden
All
poner.
right, so if you could ask Mr. Martinez just to pause there. So if we were looking to the future, we should have a system for reliable digital recognition before a knife can be sold. Would you agree with that?
Ojalá,
Hope so.
ojalá, claro.
Hope so,
Eso
sure.
sería
That
lo
would
que
be,
debería de ser, pero
that should be,
no porque
not
vaya
because,
para menor, sino
not for
ahora
minors,
mismo,
for
no sé, pero para
I
comprar
don't
un
know,
cuchillo,
but to buy the knife,
para ciertas cosas, no
or
para comprar un
certain,
cuchillo, sino para ciertas cosas que
but for
puedan,
certain things,
pues que una persona tenga que
a
darse
person
de alta en algún sitio oficial, porque tiene que haber
had to show
algo oficial que
officially
respalde.
that backs
Claro,
up,
una empresa de
sure, a
4,
company,
5, 7 personas,
4 or 5 people,
no
7
tenemos un
people.
departamento
We
de
don't have
investigación,
department. We don't have an
tenemos un departamento
investigation
de
department. We have
ventas, de
the sales
compras,
department, a
de
purchasing
almacén,
department,
pero no tienes un
You're a
store,
small,
departamento de
but we
just
don't
pause
have an
there.
investigation department.
Just pause there. So you're a small company, but you would be helped if there was an online system that gave more reliable identification than somebody just emailing a passport. It's a simple point. Do you agree with that?
Sí, con
Yes.
eso estoy de acuerdo. Todas las ayudas
Yes, I'm in agreement with all of the helps
deben de ser y partir
should
de los
be,
legisladores.
and starting from the legislators,
Tienen que
you have
legislar
to
para que estas
legislate
cosas no
to
pasen
so that these
y
things don't
que
happen,
sea todo
and
más fiable.
that it could all be more reliable.
Toda la responsabilidad
All the responsibility
a un trabajador pues,
to a
es
worker
complicado.
is a little bit complex.
But whatever system is in place, it's going to require, Mr. Martinez, people like you to know what the law requires and to act responsibly in conformity with the law. Do you agree?
También estoy de acuerdo,
I'm also in
también estoy
agreement.
de acuerdo.
I am also in agreement.
Pero
But
la ley
the law
debe de ayudar a las personas a
shouldn't
poder
help
actuar
help people to
bien, no
act well.
equivocarnos. Tienen que ser
Should,
precisas,
it has to be
concretas.
precise and complete.
Estamos
We are
hablando,
talking
está hablando antes de un machete.
like we were talking before about
En la
machete.
ley no
In the
dice
law,
que un machete esté prohibido. Por lo menos yo lo desconozco.
a machete isn't
Tiene que estar prohibido,
stipulated.
pues
It
debe
isn't
estar
covered.
bien. Pero no se puede dejar
It
a
can't be
consideración
left to consideration
del que está trabajando.
of the one who's working
Entienda, hay
in
veces
a
que las
shop.
cosas tienen que ser.
All right, I'm going to ask Mr. Martinez to pause there because I must make more progress. A couple of final topics, please. It's set out in your statement, and you've mentioned it already, that in June 2024, AR then tried to buy a kitchen knife from you. Do you agree with that? Right, so in June...
Sorry, Your Honour, could you please repeat that
Yes.
statement?
In June 2024, AR then tried to buy a knife from Hunting and Knives. I just want Mr. Martinez to confirm that in June 2024, AR tried to buy a knife from Hunting and Knives. It's a simple point. Can he just confirm that?
Sí.
Yes.
Intentó comprar en
He
junio
tried to buy,
2024
in June
un
2024,
cuchillo de cocina
a kitchen knife
No
from
intentó.
Hunting and Knives.
Realizó un
He
pedido
tried.
que no
He,
No,
he,
just ask him to
he
pause.
started to make
Sorry,
order that he didn't.
Again, could you ask Mr. Martinez just to answer the question that I'm asking, because we will make quicker progress. Please just translate that. The knife was 20 centimetres long, the type that he tried to buy.
Recordar que sí.
Yes, I remember so.
And in fact, AR had not paid for that knife, so it never went through the system and it was never delivered.
Exactamente, sí.
Exactly. That's how it was.
Mr. Martinez, are you now aware that AR had a total of 3 machetes delivered to his house from 3 different companies, of which Hunting and Knives was just one? Are you now aware of that?
Sí, eso
Yes.
en el momento en que os pusisteis
At the
en contacto
moment
conmigo,
in which he made contact with me in August, in which he made contact with me in August, I was made aware of this, how it happened.
Now, the inquiry has received evidence that the other 2 machetes, because they were age verified, were delivered to or intercepted by AR's father. Whereas the machete that you sold AR got into AR's hands because it was found by the police in a holdall under his bed. Do you now understand that?
sí.
Yes.
Does it worry you that of the 3 machete-selling companies that AR had involvement with, he chose your company to try to buy a knife from?
Yes.
And do you think that the reason for that might very well be that your processes were nowhere near as tight as they should have been, and AR knew that and may have thought Hunting and Knives don't do proper age verification? Would that be fair?
Visto ahora,
¿Sería justo?
sí,
If seen now, yes, effectively,
no se estaba haciendo.
it wasn't being carried out adequately.
Next topic the ending of your contract with Mr. Henderson. Mr. Henderson has told this inquiry in a statement that the reason why the relationship between his company and your company came to an end was that Irish Customs intercepted a shipment from your company which contained a variety of knives and a pepper box revolver. Is that accurate?
El revólver no era un revólver, era una réplica del
It
siglo
wasn't a
XIX
revolver.
o algo
It
así.
was a
Pero no es un revólver
18th century
funcional, es un
replica. It wasn't functioning.
juguete, una réplica.
It was a
No sé
toy,
cómo
a replica.
se diría eso en...
Well,
I don't know how.
there's a difference between a toy and a replica. Which was it? Because if it's anything like the pepper box revolvers that are still for sale on your website, it's a replica, not a toy.
Es una réplica
It's a replica
de un revólver
of a revolver
del Western.
of West.
Son funcionales.
They are not functioning.
Réplica
They are replicas.
o
And
juguete.
Mr. Henderson's concern, as he's told the inquiry, was that that shipment was sent under the pretext of it being cutlery items, so knives, forks and spoons. Is that accurate?
No lo recuerdo.
I
Ese
don't
envío
remember.
fue enviado como...
That
Normalmente se envían
shipment
como
was sent
cuchillos.
was just sent
Se
as
envía
knives.
como cutlery cuando se manda cutlery, se mandan
When cutlery
cuchillos.
is
Es que
sent,
aquí
knives are
el nombre
sent,
de cuchillo es lo mismo de cocina que cuchillo.
and knives are the
de mesa
same
que cuchillo
names
de
as
caza.
table knives,
El nombre es el
as
mismo.
well as hunting knives. The name is knife.
Se envió como cuchillo.
It was sent as
Aquí a la
knife
agencia de transporte se le entregan como cuchillo.
because under the transport agencies, they're understood as knives.
Can you understand why Customs and Mr. Henderson might have been rather concerned that even if there was a language problem, a description of a consignment of knives or cutlery might be very worrying if what was inside was a historical firearms replica?
Yo, por nuestra experiencia, cuando
My
hemos hecho
experience,
envíos
when we've made all
réplicas
when we've
que se
sent
envían a toda parte del mundo,
replicas that were sent all over the world,
en alguna aduana, no en
in
todas,
some customs, not
también en cada
all,
país es de una manera. En uno, si le pones réplica,
in some of them that we
ven
name
que
them
es una
replicas,
réplica,
they
y
say
si
that it's a
cuando
replica,
pasan por los
and when
controles,
they go through the
de aduana,
controls,
por ejemplo, de
it's
Irlanda,
the
si es
customs
una réplica, y
controls
si no
like
te piden
Ireland.
una documentación.
If,
Mándame la
if
ficha
they don't,
de
they ask for the
la dan
documentation.
y ven que
They
efectivamente es una...
send me the file and they
Entiendo que una
verify it,
réplica
and they
puede
understand that
llevar a
it's a
la
replica,
conclusión de que
and they
sea
come to the
un arma
conclusion
real o una réplica.
that whether
Pero
it's a real
cuando hay
weapon
alguna
or a
duda,
replica.
lo que han
But
hecho
when there's a
es
doubt, what they've done
pedirnos la
is
documentación.
to
En
ask
este
for the
caso,
documentation. And in this case,
nosotros por parte
we,
de la empresa
on the
que
part of the
mandó
company
ese paquete,
that
por
sent the
parte de la aduana,
parcel,
nada más que el señor Henderson fue el que nos dijo que por
it was
eso rescindía el
Mr.
contrato,
Henderson when he made the
pero
contract
por
said,
parte de nadie se ha puesto nadie en contacto con nosotros.
but he hasn't made contact or communicated with us.
All right. I'm going to move on. Mr. Martinez, your statement sets out a number of improvements that your company has made since, and it sets out some suggestions for you about recommendations for the future. If you will forgive me, I'm not going to ask you about them because it's set out in your statement and your statement will be published by the inquiry. I'm just going to pause to allow that to be translated.
¿Me puedes decir lo que me has dicho? Que no te he entendido.
Can you repeat what you've said? Because I couldn't understand.
Your statement tells us about some improvements that you have made as a company since AR's attack. And I'm not going to ask you about those improvements because they are set out in your statement. Now, I'm asked to explore with you one other aspect. Your website has a sales area called novelties. And within the novelties section, there is a hunting knife on sale for over £85. Why is a large hunting knife a novelty?
No sé ahora concretamente qué cuchillo
I don't know
me está
completely which
las
knife you're
novedades
naming.
que se ponen en las novedades son
But what
que se han hecho
put in the
una
novelty
mejora o se ha
is
cambiado el modelo
because the
de
model
cuchillo de
has
caza.
changed or it's improved.
A lo mejor les cambian.
Maybe they've
Estoy
changed.
pensando ahora mismo en uno.
I'm thinking of
Le
one now
llevaban
that had
el acabado a lo mejor en
a finish
latón.
that was
Ahora el
maybe
acabado es
plate
plateado.
and now it's silver.
Esa es la novedad. La
That is the
novedad es que sea
novelty.
en sí un cuchillo de
It's
caza.
not. It's
Cuchillo de
not.
caza,
The novelty is
cuchillo,
not that it's a
a lo
domestic
mejor
knife
diseñado hace y
or
vendiéndose hace 20 años.
maybe
Se pone esa
designed that way
novedad
20 years ago.
modifican
It's
el
because
cuchillo
it's
en algún
the
aspecto.
knife is
Suele ser
modified
un
in
aspecto
one way.
estético,
It could be an aesthetic
pero que
way,
como novedad un cuchillo de
but as
caza,
a novelty
hay poca
of a
novedad en el
knife,
cuchillo.
there's very little novelty in a knife.
All right. Also, in the novelty section, you have for sale a Beavercraft Santa Claus carving kit, which is advertised in the same section, the novelty section, as quite a large number of knives. Do you think it's responsible to sell items that might be attractive to children, like a Santa Claus carving kit, alongside hunting knives?
Están novedades porque nosotros,
Novelties
como he
because,
explicado antes,
like
vendemos
we
muchos
explained,
productos. Las
we sell a lot
novedades
of
no se
products.
ponen,
Novelties
no se pone
are
un
not
cuchillo de caza,
put in
un
domestic
cuchillo
knives
de carving
or
con
carving
un
knife
Santa Claus
or
que
Santa Claus.
resulte que son de lo
Because
mismo.
they
Que
are
son
the same,
cosas distintas, pero son
because they are
novedades.
different things,
No tienen nada que ver,
or
son de la misma
whereas the
categoría y son para
novelties,
lo mismo.
they have nothing to do with.
Un artículo como es
Yes, that is not an answer to my question. Is it a good idea to put things that are attractive to children, a Santa Claus carving kit, on the same page as a large hunting knife? Is that a good idea or a bad idea?
Pues viéndolo ahora es una mala idea,
Now it's
pero
a bad
yo lo
idea.
que quería explicar
But
es que
what
los
I wanted
productos
to
se
explain
colocan
is that the
porque son novedad
products
en ese
are
momento,
placed there
no
because they
porque
are novelties in that moment, not
buscando otra cosa.
because we're seeking other things.
Could we have on the screen ILT 4041, please? Just give me a moment. Could we try 49, please? Sorry, totally my fault. Could we have the top half of the screen, please? Mr. Martinez, this was taken from your website overnight. You sell, still now, a Muella Magnum 26 Bowie deer stag knife for close on to £300 sterling. Do you agree? Yes, this is advertised on your site. That knife, nearly £300, is still on sale on your website today.
£288.
Yeah. What's that knife used for?
Un cuchillo de caza.
A domestic knife. Oh, sorry, a hunting knife.
Is it useful as a stabbing weapon?
Para apuñalar vale ese cuchillo y cualquier cuchillo.
To stab, a knife is any knife.
Cualquier cuchillo vale para apuñalar.
Any knife is used for stabbing.
Mr. Martinez, please listen to the question very carefully, and I'm going to ask the translator to translate it word for word. Is this knife useful as a stabbing weapon?
Sí.
Yes.
Would that be a responsible way to describe this knife on your website? Useful as a stabbing weapon.
Eso yo creo que
I think
ahí tenemos un error con esa
we have an error with that word.
Lo que quiere decir
Because
es que
I think
la hoja.
that word means to pinch, but not to stab.
Cualquier cuchillo
Because
es útil para apuñalar, pero este
any
cuchillo
knife is useful for
también es útil
stabbing, but this
para
knife
pelar una
is
manzana.
useful also to peel
Su
an apple.
función de este cuchillo
Yeah.
The
es
function of this knife
de caza.
is for hunting.
Mr. Martinez, I'm going to ask the question again. Listen to it and please answer it. Would it be responsible to describe this knife on your website as useful as a stabbing weapon?
No debería describirse como útil para
It
apuñalar.
should not be described as useful as stabbing.
Lo que es.
It should be described as for what it is.
Could we look further down the page under blade? Could we have that enlarged? The style used by Muella to compose the blade of this 26 Magnum is clip point, whose main characteristic is the cut upper part of the tip, which results in a thinner, stronger, and better quality end. These words, this knife is useful as a stabbing weapon as well as a cutting tool. That, Mr. Martinez, is a grossly inappropriate way to market that knife. Do you agree?
Estoy de acuerdo.
I am in agreement.
And we find that on your website, even today. We find that on your website even today, don't we, Mr. Martinez?
Será cierto.
It
Si son palabras que hay que quitarlas, pues habrá que quitarlas.
could be true, and if these are words that have to be removed, then we can remove them.
No entendía yo que
I didn't understand
se entienda
that this
ser
would
un
be
cuchillo de
understood
caza. Entiendo
as a
por la
hunting
descripción,
knife.
que seguramente esta descripción
I think that the
es la que da el
description
fabricante,
is that the
creo,
the manufacturer,
pero entiendo que cuando se refiere a apuñalar,
but what is referred
se
to
usa para caza,
stabbing,
para matar un
it's
venado,
it's referred to hunt a deer
en sus características,
in
puede
your
estar
in
que sea
its
para
characteristics.
apuñalar un animal.
It's to be to
Puede ser
stab
perfectamente que
an
sea
animal.
así y así esté definido por el
It
fabricante.
could be described like this or
Y
defined
se ha
like this with the manufacturer.
cogido y se ha puesto la descripción.
Mr.
And-
Martinez,
and this
I'm going to stop you there because I think the chair has your answer. I'm just looking to my left. Mr. Martinez, thank you. Those are my questions. Is there anything that you would like to add? I said I'd give you an opportunity.
No, yo lo único que querría
the
añadir
only thing I want to
sería,
add
pues,
is
entiendo
I
la
understand
investigación,
the investigation, and I understand.
creo que
Thank
hay
you for your
cosas
patience with me. I will just see if the chair has any questions.
Just one question from me, Mr. Martinez. Do you understand that it's against the law in the United Kingdom to hunt deer with knives?
es un ejemplo, señoría,
It's an
he puesto
example.
un ejemplo de para lo que se usa
That-
cuchillo de caza.
There's an example that I've used to describe what we would use a hunting
Venados,
knife for.
no jabalís, pero estos cuchillos se utilizan para eso, para cazar.
These is just to say that these knives are used to hunt. They are for hunting. I
¿Qué tipo de caza
don't know what
se
type of
practica en
hunting
el Reino Unido?
is
Lo
practiced
que
in
se
the
caza,
UK.
ni con lo que se
I
caza.
understand that
Pones
hunting takes
herramientas,
place,
son herramientas de caza, pero que
and this is a
de hecho, se
tool
pueden
for
usar
hunting.
para otras cosas. Quien lo
If
compra,
the client uses
entendemos
it
que
for
lo
other
compra
things,
para un uso
and
legal dentro
that
de
it's
lo que es,
being
no
bought
que lo use.
for legal use,
Claro, entiendo eso.
I
No
understand.
sabía que
I didn't know
venado no se podía cazar en el Reino Unido.
that these could not be hunted in UK.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. That concludes your evidence. Can we close the link, please?
So we do need a short break to rearrange things ahead of the next witness. We are just about on course today because on any view our final witness will be the briefest of the day, but maybe ask for 10 to 15 minutes.
Certainly. Send a message through when you're ready.
Thank you.
I'll rise. 10 minutes or thereabouts. Yes, Ms. Bateman.
Could we start by having the witness sworn in, please?
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the
It's not a good start. Can you freeze the picture?
So maybe just give it 30 seconds to see if it can be resolved, and if not, I'll ask you to rise. Thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me on the link?
I can.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bullock. Can you take the oath again, please? We didn't hear you this end.
Okay. I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And could you start by stating your full name?
It's Luke Bullock.
And please could we have on screen SPRB 4014?
Microphone slightly closer to you. Or is that not possible? If you can't, then can we make sure the volume is up the other end, please?
Do you recognise that as your witness statement?
Yes, I do.
And have you signed the end of that witness statement?
I believe so. Yes.
Is that statement true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes.
I just want to start by recognising at the outset that you have cooperated with the inquiry's request and provided your statement promptly, so thank you for doing that. It's right, isn't it, that you're the company director of Springfield of Burton Limited?
That's correct.
And that company is owned by Bullock Holdings.
Yes.
Both of those are UK registered companies.
Yes.
And you say in your statement at paragraph 2 that it's a third generation family business which was established in 1973.
Yes.
What are your tasks as the company director of those companies?
So I do the ordering. I've got an IT background, so I'm responsible for the website, for any the age verification software is built with the external data but by me. The day-to-day running's handled a little bit more by my wife, Chrissy, in terms of HR and accounts, but I do pretty much whatever comes up in a small business. It can be pretty much anything.
And you say in your statement that you also ensure compliance with legislation, is that right?
Yes.
And just give us an idea of the size of the company. How many employees do you have?
There's 5 people altogether, 3 full-time and 2 part-time.
What types of product do you stock?
Everything from, so our biggest customers are probably combined would be scout groups. So they'll have everything from ropes to tarps, fire steels, knives, axes, saws. So we'll do everything for those, but also for activity centres, and they'll want things like throwing axes, throwing knives, shelter building stuff, forest school equipment. So, but there's quite a lot of crossover. So what a scout group might want, also a forest school or an activity centre might want.
And focusing on the knives, how do you decide which types of knives you're going to stock on your website?
So a couple of years, there was a College of Policing study in 2021, and I think there's 4 A's in there. There's affordability, attractiveness, and availability. There's another one, but that's accessibility, which is more for the home, I think, like a drawer. But we try and make sure that if it's attractive, it's not cheap, and if it's in that criteria, or it'll just be something that people ask for that they need. So I don't know, like at the moment there's a pending email where a scout group wants an axe with a specific sheath, and we don't stock it. I'm trying to find it, and so it can be anything really.
All right. And is the likelihood of a knife being used for unlawful violence one of the criteria that you'd think about?
Yeah, if it looked what we'd call threatening, then we wouldn't stock it.
I'm going to come on to in more detail later the contact that Springfield had with AR.
Okay.
But by way of overview at the start, I'm just going to give a summary, as I understand it, of
Yes.
your involvement. So AR, a child, was able to successfully order a machete and sharpening stone from Springfield on the 10th of June 2023. Is that right?
Yes, the order portion of that would be successfully. So the order was completed via our website successfully, yes.
And in terms of delivery, it was delivered by DPD on the 14th of June 23 using their age-verified delivery service.
That's correct.
He was able to place the order and to pass your age verification using a driving licence of a woman from Sunderland called Alice.
That's correct.
Shortly after placing the order, he contacted Springfield to ask whether ID was required.
Yes.
And the machete and the sharpening stone were found on top of the wardrobe of his parents' bedroom when his address was searched after this attack.
Yes.
And the items were found in sealed packaging with a delivery label addressed to Alice with AR's home address.
Yes.
So I'll come on to that in more detail later, but does that just summarise by overview your main involvement with AR?
Yes, it is.
The next topic I want to cover is age verification at Springfields. So is it right that you conduct all of your sales online?
Yes, yes, pretty much. There's a few people come to the door still because we were a shop for about 45 years, so people still come to the door, but most of the time we get them to put the order through online and they can click and collect.
So would that be collecting from your warehouse?
Yes.
And it's right, isn't it, that online knife sales carry with them an inherent risk of inadvertently selling a bladed item to somebody under 18 simply because you can't see them in person or check their ID in person?
Yes.
And it's obvious point to say, but if a bladed item is sold to someone under 18, that item does have the potential to cause significant harm.
Yes.
So for that reason, there are legal duties on online sellers of knives, and a careful approach has to be taken to guard against that risk.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Other than the specific criminal law requirements, as far as you're aware, is there any regulation for online retailers of knives in any other aspect? For example, is there a requirement to register with a local authority or have a licence or register with the Home Office? I fear we may have lost the link. We'll just give it a moment to catch up.
I think we're back.
Thank you, Mr. Bullock. We can see you again. We'll just get you up on the screen. Sorry, if we could just have Mr. Bullock made full screen, please. Thank you.
Do you want to ask the question again?
Yes, so can you hear me, Mr. Bullock?
I can.
Other than this specific criminal law requirements, was there any other type of regulation for online retailers of knife sales, such as, for example, registering with the Home Office or a requirement to register with the local authority?
There's no requirement to. We've registered with the local authority, but there's not really any other guidance at all, really.
I now just want to look at some of the policies that you have on your website about age verification. So could we have up SPRB 507? So 507. This is your shipping policy. Is this how it was at the time when AR made his purchase in 2023?
It was, yes.
And it says there that age-restricted products are dependent on age verification. Is that right?
Yes.
Next, if we could have SPRB 508. This is your terms and conditions.
Yes.
And at point 1, you warn that items on the site may be dangerous or age-restricted.
Yes.
Thank you. Next, if we could have SPRB 509. Is this, so this is a frequently asked question page that you have on the website?
Yes.
And the question asked is, how old do I need to be to purchase from you? You say there's no age limit for non-age restricted products. However, you must be over 18 to purchase a bladed item or other age restricted product. If you're not old enough or cannot provide proof of age, we'll unfortunately have to cancel your order.
Yes.
And finally, SPRB 4010. If we could zoom in on that. This is your age verification, frequently asked questions.
Yes.
And under the first question, what is age verification? It says it's usually done by checking against the electoral register after you have placed your order. If we're unable to find you on the electoral register, you may be asked to provide a photo of your ID to prove your age. Is that right?
That's right.
And for those policies that I've just taken you through, does that show them as they were at the time when AR placed his order?
Yes, I checked the dates on those.
Could we have up your witness statement? So this is SPRB 4014. We're just going to take a pause for a moment. I think
Okay.
maybe some technical issues, I'm not sure. Okay, we're just going to carry on. I'll just read into the record any relevant parts if there's an issue with getting them up on the screen. I think it's back. Paragraph 39, please. It's the section that talks about your privacy policy on your website.
Yeah.
And it says that when purchasing age-restricted goods, age verification will be performed using the electoral roll. If no result can be found, we will use your data to search company's house and previous orders for a matching postcode.
Yeah.
Other data sources may be used to aid verification if the process fails. If all other methods fail, you'll be contacted to request ID be sent.
Yeah.
So does that accurately summarise the policies that you had at the time when AR placed his order?
Yes.
And turning then to how it actually operates in practice,
Yeah.
I understand that there are two key safeguards that you have. Firstly, the age verification system that you carry out,
Yes,
and secondly, the use of an age-verified courier.
that's correct.
Looking at the first of those, so when someone orders an age-verified item like a knife on your website, what checks are carried out?
So the first check is we look if it was a previous customer. If it was a previous customer, you get a list of the items they've ordered previously and the names on the previous orders. So then we'll be looking for names that are constantly changing on orders, or maybe a pattern of items. So if someone only orders bladed things and maybe it's their second or third order, you can think, well, why do you only order knives? And maybe you ordered one on Wednesday and now it's Friday and you ordered another knife. So that at that point we stop that. It also looks at cancelled orders. So if it flashes up in quite big letters across the age verification screen cancelled order. So if someone's ordered previously and then we've cancelled it for any reason, they didn't want to provide ID or something like that, it shows. So we look back then at the notes on that cancelled order to see the reason it was cancelled, to know if we want to even age check them again or proceed with the order. The last thing it does, just at this initial step for previous orders, is search our banned postcode list. So if you've ever had a problem before with an order or postcode, it's quite broad, so it bans a whole postcode. It doesn't look at first lines, because someone could write the numeral 5 or the word 5, and if it was matching on that, it'd be quite a lot of code to match every type of address. So it's a broad postcode match, and then we can look at inside that banned. Sorry, I'm going on a bit, but inside the banned list will be the first line of the address, so we can work out if that's the same customer or maybe a neighbour. So we'll do that in the first instance. If they've provided ID before and it's the same details, the order will go through. We'd click processed order and add a note, and that adds a note to the order so it can go. If not, it goes to if they've never ordered, it'll automatically get searched on the electoral register. If there's no address for the purchaser at the address it's going to on the electoral register, then they'll get sent an email and a text message automatically, and the order will be locked, so it can't be edited, changed, or dispatched.
Until someone provides ID?
Until someone provides ID, yes.
And to be clear, is that the system that was in place at the time of AR's order in 2023, or are you describing the current system?
That's the system. The banned postcode was in place, but not as part of that system. It was its own standalone system where we'd block it in the warehouse management system. That would just prevent them being shipped. But apart from that, it's the same system we've been using for 4 or 5 years now. It just keeps getting improved, I guess.
Okay, so when you say it's part of the warehouse system, do you mean that the order might get through, but it wouldn't end up being shipped out because the check would be done at a later stage?
Yeah, so sorry, I should have explained. So say if someone orders at 8 o'clock on Friday evening, it wouldn't be until Monday morning that order is age verified, because it's a partially manual process. Every order that's placed on our website is treated as if it is age restricted until someone manually changes it to be not age restricted. That's just one, because we don't want to have anything slip through the net, I guess. And the other reason is because you'd have to enter whether something was bladed for every item in the stock system, and because we import supplier catalogues and things like that, it'd be about 30,000 items to go through. So we just treat everything as if it's age restricted and take out the things which aren't.
Okay, that was a very helpful and comprehensive answer, but I'm just conscious of time. So if we could,
sorry.
I don't want to limit your answers, but if you could just try to focus on the question, that would be fantastic.
Sure.
So I think I was just trying to clarify with you, at the time of AR's order, would you check the banned list of postcodes?
Yes.
Okay. And when you do the electoral register check, is that checking both the name and the address?
Yes.
And in terms of failing that check, is the next stage that you would then ask someone to provide ID?
Yes.
And does that have to be photo ID, or could it, for example, be a birth certificate?
It could have been a birth certificate in 2023.
And now?
Not anymore.
Now it has to be photo ID, is that right?
Yes, with a selfie. That's not in my witness statement.
Okay, oh, so you're saying they now have to provide photo ID with a photo, is that to prove it's their ID?
Yeah, we can go on to the steps to change later on if you like, but at the time that wasn't the case.
Okay, when someone provides their ID, how is that checked?
It depends on the ID. A driving licence, I don't think we can't check it in any way unless we ask for the driving licence code. With a citizen card, the post office card, and the Young Scott card, there's an app that the staff have on their phones, and you can take a photo of the licence on your screen, and it says if it's legitimate or not. And the staff are also trained to spot the order of a licence, so it'll be like the start of the surname, then the first year of birth, and then the 2 days, the 2 digits of the month, and then the final year of birth. And then their first initials or their middle initials are at the end of the driving licence number. So if they're ever unsure, they can look for those markers, and also the steering wheel icon over the photo.
Okay, so it's not just an automated check, it's a real person looks at the ID and looks for, they're trained in some warning signs to look out for, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
And is any sort of overall sense check done on the orders to see if, for example, the name on the order and the email address aren't matching up with the name on the ID?
In some, not for every. So in this case, the order, it didn't. If it's a completely different name, it's checked, but it's not checked routinely. If someone notices it, normally because they've got suspicion about the order for some other reason, you know, it's their third order or it's the whole basket. Because we sell, I think 29% of our items are bladed. So if you order rope and tarp and a fire steel and a knife, probably less likely to raise suspicion than someone that's ordering just knives. So, and then they'll probably, get looked at a little bit more closely, but it could be a whole host of reasons.
Okay, and would you ever check the name on the ID against, for example, the payment card or the PayPal details?
So, the name on the ID against the payment card, we don't get the details of the payment card, but no.
You've already given, I think, one example there about something that might raise suspicion when you get an order. So you said, for example, if someone's ordering a large quantity of knives, that might raise suspicion amongst staff. Yeah. Thinking back to 2023, what other things might have raised suspicion with an order at that point?
Pretty much the same stuff. So it's a large quantity of bladed items, next day delivery, orders that are maybe after midnight, but before 4 a.m. Someone placing an order and cancelling it, and then the same address with a different name attached to it. There'd be, quite a lot of reasons.
And were staff given training to look out for those types of things with orders?
Yes.
Thinking about now, is there anything else you'd look out for in addition to those factors that you've already mentioned?
So, since we've changed our system recently, well, from January, but now it's in place for all orders. If someone refuses to send the selfie or a photo of their physical ID, then that would be a cause for concern.
And if an order is flagged as raising suspicion and you're not happy to process the order, what happens then?
It depends on the order. If most of them, well, quite a few get reported to the Met Police, but if it's just we're not happy, but I don't know the reason, I can give you a scenario, but it will just get cancelled and refunded. But if there's been some circumvention or a fake ID or it's rather a large amount of blades, then they all get reported to the Met Police.
So that was looking at age verification. I now want to think about age verified delivery.
Yes.
Could we have up on screen, if possible, SPRB 5 zeros and then 6? And this is looking at shipping options that are available when someone orders an age-verified product. So we can see there are 3 shipping options, the bottom 3. They're all age-verified, is that right?
Yes.
So if someone's getting it delivered, the only option is to choose an age-verified delivery.
Yes.
And if someone collects it from your warehouse, what kind of age verification would happen then?
They still go through our online age verification, just because we don't filter them out, and it seemed a better way to do it.
But if someone turns up at the warehouse, do you ask them to provide ID then?
Yeah, then it's a challenge 25. If they're outside and they say, I've just placed an order, can I collect it? Then they're trained to do a challenge 25 type check.
Next, could we have on screen, please, MERP 008267? And could we rotate that image and then zoom in on the red label? So you explain in your witness statement that all deliveries are sent requiring age-verified delivery, which is sent with a red square, which read bladed items, delivery to 18 plus only. Is that the label that you're talking about?
That's the one.
And is that attached to all bladed item deliveries from Springfield?
Yeah, if you select age-verified delivery, the template for that invoice includes that, and that label's peeled off the invoice and stuck to the parcel, so it can't get sent without it.
I understand from your statement that you use DPD and Royal Mail for your age-verified deliveries.
Yes.
How did you choose those as companies to use?
Based on price.
And who is it that actually determines the actual method of age verification that they use when they turn up at someone's door to deliver a parcel?
It's the courier.
And do you have any systems in place to check whether age verified deliveries being done by DPD or Royal Mail for you are actually being conducted as age verified deliveries?
No defined system yet. We've sent over a document to Stats Trading Standards, who are going to be our primary authority. They've suggested getting test purchases done, although we do get work parcels delivered at home using our account, and they always check us.
Okay, now just turning to the order that AR actually placed.
Yes.
If we could have up on screen SPRB 502. And this should be the order confirmation. So is it right that the first contact, essentially, that Springfield's had with AR was when he placed this order on the website on the 10th of June, 2023 at 23:32?
Yes.
And the order was placed in the name of Alice. We've not included the surname for data protection.
Yep.
And the address is AR's address in Banks.
Yes.
And the items ordered was a 22-inch bushcraft survival machete
Yes.
at £9.49 and a sharpening stone at £3.32.
That's correct.
And the shipping method is DPD age verified.
Yes.
And if we could go back to MERP 008267. If we could just zoom in on the label on the left-hand side. We can see it's a Springfield parcel to Alice, AR's address, DPD delivery. Does that show the packaging of the order that AR placed?
Yes.
And in terms of correspondence that happened with AR after the order, if we could please go to paragraph 12 of your witness statement. which is SPRB 4014. And page 2. If we could zoom in on paragraph 12. And then if we could keep that up, because I'm just going to go through some correspondence. So 12th of June 2023, 8:37, email from a.megalania7@yahoo.com. Do I need to show ID? Was what was said.
That's it.
So no name was given with that email.
No.
And scrolling down on the statement to paragraph 16, we have the response from Springfields the same day, which said, hello Alice, as you've ordered an age-restrictive item, we have to by law confirm the person receiving the order is over 18. We do this via either the electoral roll or some form of ID, and then you ask for a photo or scan of either a driver's license, passport or birth certificate showing full name and date of birth.
That's correct.
And you explain in your statement that in between those two emails happening, your Springfield's age checker had checked the electoral register for somebody called Alice against the delivery address. And that check failed, didn't it? There was no match.
That's correct.
And so then we see paragraph 14, paragraph 15. Essentially, an email would have been sent to let her know that order verification had failed and asking for a copy of photo ID.
That's correct.
And paragraph 17. At 8:53 on the 13th of June, AR sent an email which just contained a copy of a driver's license in the name of Alice.
That's correct.
If we could get that up on screen, it's SPRB 503. And we can see that was the driving license sent through. It's obviously been redacted for data protection reasons. But we can see it's somebody with a date of birth in 1991 called Alice, and the address is in Sunderland.
Yeah.
If we could please go back to the witness statement to paragraph 18. The reference, if we need it, is SPRB 4014. Bottom of the page. And essentially the Springfield's emails at 11:42 on the 13th to say thank you for confirming age. So AR had passed your age verification by sending that ID in.
Yes.
You go on to explain that on the 13th of June, the order was printed, picked and packed and ready to be collected. And an email was sent by DPD to the A Megalania address with tracking information.
Yes.
If we could just look at paragraph 21. 13th of June, 1:55 in the afternoon, an email was sent by DPD to say we're expecting your parcel, we'll be in touch when we have it. Remember, your driver will need to see proof of age. We won't ask you to sign for it, we'll take a photo.
That's correct.
So we know that the electoral register search failed.
Yeah.
The ID was then provided, which enabled AR to pass the verification.
Mm-hmm.
Is it right that the ID had to match the name on the order?
Yes, the name on the ID had to match the name on the order.
but the address on the ID didn't have to match the delivery address.
No.
You say in your statement at paragraph 43 that none of the risk factors at the time were met to raise the order as suspicious.
Yes.
Here we have an order in the name of somebody called Alice, using a PayPal for somebody with an email that's a.megalania.
Yes.
The address for the ID is in Sunderland.
Yes.
The delivery address is in Banks, some 140 plus miles away. The order was placed late at night, shortly before midnight on the 10th.
Yep.
And you've got the person contacting you post-order to specifically inquire about whether ID is needed.
Okay. So if we address the email first, that if you remember the policy before that said we will contact you if you need to provide photo ID. So I think the order was probably placed on a Friday and we didn't age check till Monday. And our inbox is normally quite full of people who expect, because of premium marketplaces like Amazon, they'll expect their parcel to be there on Saturday morning when they place it on Friday night. So quite often, if they've read the policy for age verification, it says if we can't verify your age, you'll need to show ID. And quite often, people will either preempt that and send ID, or they'll say, did you find me? Well, I need to show ID. It's quite a regular question. On the address being different, then I think we have to have a policy where either it does match or it doesn't. And we thought about this as our first reaction. Maybe we should only send it to people's addresses on their license. But so many people's addresses, well, so many people get things delivered to addresses that aren't on their license because they're at work. And the nature of our business is we sell a lot to schools and businesses, which we still age verify. We still want to see the ID for someone there, and the address would never match out the order. I understand how far apart it was, but I think when you're processing maybe up to 100 IDs on a Monday morning, to get the support staff to put in the postcode on the address and the postcode on the order to work out the distance is quite a hard thing to get them to do. I just don't think it's reasonably practical. But I think we've mitigated that by asking for the photo of the selfie and the photo of the physical ID.
Yes, you do now, but you didn't at the time.
I didn't at the time, no. Oh, and 11:30 at night isn't particularly late.
Looking back now, do you think that those factors cumulatively should have, at the very least, provided some cause for suspicion about the order?
With what I know now, definitely.
And does the fact that AR was able to pass your age verification by using the ID of a woman named Alice living in a completely different part of the country highlight a vulnerability with the system that Springfield's had in place at the time?
Yes.
Now looking at the age-verified delivery, your agreement with DPD was for DPD to age-verify all the parcels sent using your age-verified account.
Yes.
And to ensure that they were only handed into the hands of someone aged 18 or over.
Yes.
And if we could look at SPRB 4012. Third paragraph from the bottom. We see what was agreed was upon delivery, we will only deliver parcels containing the products if the recipient can produce valid proof of ID that they are aged 18 or over, or we reasonably believe them to be aged 18 or over.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go through the detail of it with you now because we have a separate witness statement that we've obtained from DPD. But essentially what they say is on this occasion, the delivery driver was interviewed, and they have said that their recollection is the man that signed for the delivery was somebody who looked obviously over 18 and so didn't need to be age verified. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
And we don't need to get it on screen now, but DPD have provided a photo of the item in the doorway as proof of delivery, but there's no person visible in that photo. Just for the record, it's DPD 507. The delivery recipient was recorded by the delivery driver as Ruda Kubin, so RUDAKUBN. Is that your understanding?
I've not seen that information.
All right, we'll take that up with the DPD statement that we've gotten before the inquiry. But it's right to say that, assuming it's right that that was the recorded name, that didn't match with either the email address or the ID or the name that the order was in.
Knowing couriers, it quite often doesn't. We had someone leave our business about 2 years ago, and the delivery driver still writes down their name on the parcel when they drop it off. But in that case, I'm not really sure. I got the DPD witness statement about an hour before I came here, so I've read through it, but I couldn't speak to that.
All right, could we have on screen MERP 002936 and page 23. So here we've got a photo of the machete stone and a folded up invoice, which looks like it's got the first half of your logo on it.
Yeah.
Do you recognise that to be the items purchased from Springfields?
Yes.
And these are the items that were found in AR's house?
Yes.
Just moving now to ask you some questions about Springfields, the items that Springfields has for sale more generally.
Yeah.
When you offered machetes for sale, what was it exactly that you were envisaging people were going to be using those for?
So we've been selling machetes for about 40 years. I've got the 1986 catalogue on my desk, which has pretty much the same models on it. But they use them, they're only for one thing really. Well, there's two types of machete. There's a agricultural style, which are only for clearing ground. And there's a bushcraft style machete, which has a sharper blade, normally a thicker blade as well. And that's what a bushcraft guy or person would use for, they can split wood with it and use it as a big knife, essentially. But they're only for that.
Or, of course, for unlawful violence.
Yes.
It's right, isn't it, that in the UK there really are very limited, legitimate uses for machetes of the kind purchased by AR?
No, I don't think so. We sell them to, well, recently there was a broccoli farm, a thatch roofing company. Even I didn't know there was a vineyard in the UK till they ordered. Even a well-known Duke orders them from us for his estate. Anyone that needs to clear ground, or like property maintenance, property development, scaffolding companies, if they've got to put some scaffolding up behind a building and they get there into brambles, they need a machete. And yeah, there's obviously people in their gardens. We looked at, or I didn't, but the Home Office looked at banning machetes completely in 2023. And I think in that meeting they agreed there's a legitimate use. Even one of the people in that meeting said that she had a machete at home that she uses in her garden.
You also sell some knives on your website which are described as tactical knives. Is that right?
I mean, there's 2,400 items in stock. I don't recall any with tactical in the name. There may be a Swedish or Swedish knife which has tactical SRT at the end of the name, but and there may be some, but I can't think which ones. Have you got an example?
There's an item for sale, Mora Bushcraft Black Tactical,
That's the one, yes.
£54.99.
That's the name the manufacturer gives it. It's a Swedish bushcraft knife. It's probably more the most popular brand of knives for scouts, or most popular bushcraft knife in the country. They make knives with NATO stock numbers that the military buy from the UK distributor, but there's no. It's also quite expensive. I think over £60. It's
Right.
not a knife that is ever used or bought by anyone wanting to commit violence.
Just to give one more example, there's also something called a strong arm fine edge Gerber knife, which is described as a fixed blade tactical knife.
That's
Is that on the website?
That's I think, is it over £80? It's not it's not like a cheap sort of throwaway. No, I don't think we sell quite a lot of Gerber strong arms. They're made by Gerber, an American company with a lifetime warranty. They're not the kind of thing that I'd expect someone to buy for those reasons.
All right, but advertising knives like that for sale with the word tactical, one might think that that would imply some kind of use with military or use as a weapon.
I guess I can see why you'd see it that way, but being in the industry, I think you don't want to advertise things for fighting or combat, but tactical's kind of the guys that like, I don't know, airsoft or like military style stuff, especially like veteran bushcrafters. They like that style knife. They're not buying them for violent reasons. Tactical knives. They're just like the look of it. The black blade on I think the black SRT is like a ceramic coating because it's a carbon blade. If you scratch it or if you get a carbon blade wet, it'll rust. The black coating on that one stops the blade from rusting.
So I'm conscious of the time. I'm just moving to my last topic, and I don't anticipate being more than 10 minutes maximum. Thank you. So I'm now just going to ask you some questions about changes made since, a lot of ground of which we've already covered on, and also changes for the future.
Sure.
So in terms of changes made since, you've already talked about quite a lot of those. Are there any other changes that you've made that you wish to draw to the inquiry's attention?
So machetes we only sell now. So we've flipped it around, so you have to contact our accounts department to place an order now, rather than placing it through the website and then us asking you who you are. You have to kind of start with an inquiry. We've produced a catalogue of the most popular ones that trade bought, so the general public can't buy them from us anymore. You have to be a business, or at least, if it's not a limited company, some sort of, activity centre or something which we'd check out before we even accept the order now. The video ID that we started in January is now in its 4th version. It's you have to submit a selfie using your mobile phone and a photo of your ID live. You can't upload it.
Okay, so is the video of the person, or is it a video of the ID to show that you've actually got the ID physically?
The video, there's a photo of the ID, and there was a video of the person, but now it's just a photo of the person. The video didn't really offer anything other than making it. You have to watch a video, and people try to talk about things. There wasn't no need for it.
Do you think it would be useful to roll out some kind of video ID system, or do you think the current system you've got of asking for a selfie with photo ID is sufficient?
I think it's sufficient. There's amendments to Crime and Policing Bill coming in, I think, about summer next year, and that asks for a selfie and a current photo of yourself and a photo of your ID. So that's why we went that route instead of continuing with the video. But so far, it's been really good, actually. I think it restored my faith in our customers because, you get a photo of someone on a tractor or someone on a train, someone in a workshop, and you think, they all look like, nice sound people ordering orders that look nice. So, yeah, I think it's fine.
And do you require the address on the photo ID to match with the delivery address now?
No.
Is that something that you've considered introducing, and if so, why not? Why haven't you?
Because also in the crime and policing bill next year, as well as reporting suspicious purchases, the delivery has to be made to the person who places the order. So, like you and I, everybody has a job. Nobody's really in between 9 and 5. So nobody's going to be able to get an item delivered to the address on their licence. No one at university, no one with a passport would be able to check. So I think it's much more, it's a much better check to make sure that that person's got the physical ID and that is the person that's sending us the ID with a check rather than their address.
In terms of improvements that could be made generally for online retailers of knives, would it be helpful to have some sort of system that would enable you to identify, for example, customers of concern, those that might have a known propensity for violence, knife convictions?
Yes, we've spoken about that before. Normally it's a GDPR concern to share that information, but I do think there should be some sort of way that a household can block their own postcode. So in this case, AR's father or mother or social services or CAMS could have suggested that address, maybe they could talk to neighbours and say, is it okay if we ban, or we add your address to this? And we wouldn't have to see the reason it's banned. Or maybe it could just be for couriers and they could suggest that when they try and send a bladed delivery there, because those data points are there, if an item's bladed or the delivery's age restricted, then that household doesn't accept those deliveries, or we could put it into as part of our check.
Would it be helpful to have a way of sharing your blocked addresses with other retailers?
Yes, I've spoken to other retailers about that, but it's always a GDPR concern. We don't, and there's also a risk that other retailers, if it's not vetted, could just put some postcodes on there of their best customers and say, well, we don't really want Springfields to sell to these guys, so let's tell them, So you've got to think about those things, but I think it's much better if it's shared with the police and there's some vetting before those postcodes are banned. But yeah, some system would be really helpful.
And would you be in favour of some kind of licensing of online knife sellers?
Yes.
We've covered a few sort of potential areas for improvement there. Is there any other potential improvements which you think could be made to online sales of knives?
Yeah, so in the crime and policing bill that's coming in next year, with the work I've done with the Met Police, I'm told has led to this, suspicious purchases will have to be reported, but they've set a number of 5 items or more as the level of suspicion. There's a few intricacies to that, but generally it's 5 or more knives and you have to report them to the police. Whereas I think, shall I carry on? I think if someone submits a fake ID, tries to circumvent your age verification procedure, it ought to be mandatory to report those sales to the police rather than just cancel them and keep a report. You should send that report to somebody, and that data could maybe be shared.
Yes, I think you've explained at paragraph 59 that you've started sharing intelligence with the Met about suspicious orders. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Could you just give us a tiny bit more detail about how exactly that works with Springfield?
Yeah, so we'd get a fake idea or a refusal back in maybe 2020, and then when we phone them up or email them, they'd say, well, I'll just go elsewhere. And I thought, well, what am I stopping? I'm just moving them onto another retailer who probably won't check, and they're still going to obtain this thing. So I'd already made a few contacts by trying to, get involved where I can in helping out. So I emailed them and said, can I start sending you reports? Because they're all over the country, and to get through to a police force in maybe like Staffordshire, then Shropshire, and it's a lot of work. So there's one guy in the business crime department in Met Police who said, yeah, I'll take them and I'll create intelligence reports and put them on the, I guess, Police National Computer. I don't really know what he does, but he creates an intelligence report. And most of the time, I don't know if it comes to anything. I'm told it's quite helpful, and they use that as in working groups to show what a responsible retailer should do.
Thank you, Mr. Bullock. I don't have any further questions from you. If I could just check with, no, I'm seeing shakes of heads over there. Sir, do you have any questions?
Nearly finished, Mr. Bullock, but just a couple from me.
Okay.
You've said that you've been selling more or less the same styles of machetes for about 40 years.
Yes.
Can you give me an idea as to, not exactly, but an approximation per annum of machetes that your company sells?
It can vary quite a lot, but I guess 1,000 or so, because like a guy came from a small holding in South Africa and came and looked around the shop and looked at machetes with me, and he bought 20 or something like that to export there. So it can go up or down quite a lot, but around 1,000 a year. It's probably less now than it, well, definitely less, maybe less now, but I don't know what it was 40 years ago.
I was going to ask you about whether there had been a decline, and in that context, you've said that now for machetes, the general public can't buy them, and those who inquire have to go through your accounts department when to an extent, they get questioned about it. When was that change made?
That change was, well, so before we were selling them, but then asking. And now, very recently, in the last month, we've swapped that round to say they have to just go to, well, the page is gone and the catalogue's only just been produced, so we haven't really sent it to anyone yet.
So it's not possible yet to say whether that change is going to bring about a marked reduction in the number of machetes that you sell?
Not possible yet to see how many will. Fine. Just because it's an extra step, it's inevitable that some people just won't bother when they can't click and order one. So even companies won't click and say, well, I need two. There'll be another retailer that will just offer it, and it'll be an easier path to get one. So there's bound to be some sort of decline.
Can I ask then what sort of questions your accounts department is putting to those who show an interest in buying machetes?
So you'd have to be a company that needs them. You know, if you were a car garage and you said, I need 10 machetes, they wouldn't do it. It would have to be either one of our existing trade customers or part of a wider trade account. It wouldn't probably be a trade account just for machetes, but we offer about 1,000, we've got over 1,000 trade accounts for outdoor centres, activity centres. We'd probably want them to be, you know, someone who's got a wider interest in our goods than just machetes.
Yeah. Do you know if any other retailers are going down the same path as you in relation to this?
I've spoken to quite a few, and just because the amount of times you see it in the media, a lot of people either drop them or are going to restrict them. Quite a few, like suppliers, don't sell them on their own websites. They'd rather push them to retailers like agricultural stores or people like me that actually try and do something about the sales.
Mr. Bullock, I'm very grateful to you. Thank you for sparing the time, and thank you for your evidence this afternoon.
Thank you.
We can close the link.
Thank you, sir. The programme for tomorrow is that we intend to hear from Mr. Sutherland of Tactical Archery, Mr. Jones of Merlin Archery, Mr. Ashworth from Every, Mr. Polglass from Whistle, Mr. Henderson from RUAC, and subject to correction, I think we will start Mr. Ali, the Amazon delivery driver, if but only if time permits. But 10 o'clock.
Certainly.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all very much. 10 o'clock.